Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity. How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a little mini series on Outward called Trash or Treasure, which is where I take a look at an armor set, weapons, spells, all that stuff, and call it Trash or Treasure, which translates to how usable the item is, how good it is, and just that sort of jazz. I mean, you should have figured that out by now. But anyway, there's typically two builds or two categories of how you build a character. There's dot damage, and then there is, big swings, huge insta damage. So those are generally the two things that you're building around. There's not really much diversity outside of that, though there are varieties of ways to do that, like a dot bow build, a dot gun build, a bleed build with a sword, or just that sort of situation. Yeah, it's typically one of those things that you can do. So you can have a certain build, but it's going to revolve around one of those two subjects, whether it be dot or just heavy damage in general. So today we're taking a look at the Zagis armor as well as the Zagis saw. So the way you get this is you complete the Levant storyline, and you guys will pick this up. I don't know why I don't have boots. It did not give me boots. I just put on the silver boots because it matched, and that was kind of it. So we're just going to ignore that. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the armor. So you get 3 protection, 28 resistance, and a whopping 15 damage. This is super good for whenever you're doing a massive build around swinging and enchanting your weapon with like maybe a bolt rag or something, just to get that fat sack damage off. This is a really good armor set if you're trying to build around just fat swings. And as an added bonus, you get some impact resistance as well as some hot weather defense, clearly for Levant, but overall the hot weather defense is negligible at this point. The worst part about this armor set is you're going to be losing the stamina and movement speed, so you're going to have to make that sacrifice. But at the same time, this is a heavy armor set that's going to offer an immense amount of protection as well as give you an immense amount of damage, so you're kind of trading off, I would say, fairly here. It's not too overblown out in terms of negativities. I'd say that you're getting more out of the armor set on the plus side rather than the negative side. Now to take a look at the Zagis mask, you get 2 protection, 20 resistance, 10 damage bonus, so in total you're going to get about 25 damage, which is fantastic. Then you get 13 impact resistance, hot weather defense once again, and this time you're going to be losing the mana, of course. It's going to cost an immense amount of mana if you're running any kind of build that goes off of mana, which I recommend if you want this armor set and you want to do this sort of build, you probably want to steer clear of mana. If you want to enchant your weapons with anything, use varnishes and rags and stuff like that, because if using mana is just gonna suck dick, really. Alright, now we're gonna take a look at the Zagis saw, which we get 40 damage, 48 impact, and then we also have 0.8 attack speed, which is uber slow. It is super slow. Now to be fair to the weapon, it's not unusable, but I am definitely underwhelmed by it. I like the super huge damage that you get off of it. I like that it inflicts pain. I was hoping for it to inflict a bleeding at least, but it just kind of meh. If I had to put a number on it, it would be a high 5 or a low 6. That's pretty much where I would put it. Like I said, by no means is it unusable. It is just there are weapons that outclass it by miles. So before I end the video, I do want to test this weapon out and just kind of showcase the damage here. Obviously, I'm in Cierzo. I don't want to travel all the way the fuck to wherever, and I've beaten the game already, so all the major bosses and stuff are dead. So I can only test this on enemies that are within the area, so it's like kind of hard to gauge, but here we go. We'll just test it on this. So we're gonna go ahead and let this guy hit us and see what the armor, like, you see that protection? It's pretty good protection. Granted, this is a troglodyte, doesn't really prove much, but when we swing, it's big dick damage. Alright, I kind of killed that thing over there. I was going to showcase it, but I started to cough immensely, so it just, I don't want to plague your ears, so we're just going to fight this one. This is a more of a tankier enemy and something that does a little bit more damage, so his electricity does do a good bit, but overall, I mean, nothing that, as long as you know what you're doing, like, you can easily just style on this guy, bait this out, oh, and then we go, boom, I have the Code Sonic on, shit, I didn't mean to have that on, fuck. As you can see, we're kind of tanking hits, and then we can just kind of beat the shit out of him, really, and then we burn his stamina bar down, and then we just bop him over the head, and he's just donezo. Yeah, so I mean, enemies that have a bit more damage are obviously going to do a lot more to you, but overall, when it comes to damage, you're not going to be lacking in that area, as long as you're aware that if you use this armor set, you're probably going to take 1 or 2 hits every now and then. And if you're content with that, you got pots, you got heals, you got ways to restore that burnt ham. What? I'm fucking hungry, boys. I've been on a diet for like a week. Alright, leave me alone. But if you have that tea that restores burnt health, I mean, you're pretty much good. You have really no complaints. I think the biggest issue you're gonna have is enemies that are quick and fast, but those enemies are generally not armored, so they're pretty easy to kill. Like these hyenas right here should be like 2 shots, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like, as long as you can fucking swing on these guys, like you're fine. Like it's 2 shots on these things. Now the problem is that they fucking give diseases, so yeah, you don't want that shit. Oh, you want some too, you fucking nerd? Watch this. Boom. Fucking chicken. Alright, boys, so in conclusion here, I'm gonna say the Zagis armor treasure, and I'm gonna say the Zagis saw trash. And I know, unpopular opinion, I know, keep in mind, it's not unusable, it's not terrible by any means. When I call it trash, the episode's called Trash or Treasure, which just, you know, something is god tier, and then something is like, meh. If you want to use a Zagis saw, use it. But believe me, I used it for a hot while just because of the way it looks. Believe me, it's totally usable. It just, in comparison to other weapons, it's not as good. If it was just a little bit faster, I would have made it a treasure, but because it's so slow and the mobility that you already are lacking with the armor set, it just doesn't do it for me. I'd rather use another weapon that would just give me speed and mobility versus this. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.